Cover a different aspect of metaphysics, and this one is pretty interesting. So I thought I would discuss St. Thomas Aquinas on the existence of God. So essentially, Aquinas states that God's existence is true a posteriori rather than St. Anselm, who said that God's existence is true a priori. So something that's true a priori, just in case, is something that is known before the fact, or prior to, maybe to remember it better. For example, 1 + 1 = 2. Your teacher taught you that, but logically, whether or not you were taught that, it's still given that. It's always going to be, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. Or the more common one, that all bachelorettes are single females. You don't need to experience that to already know, because it's given from the statement that bachelorettes are going to be single females. The difference with a posteriori in relation to that is that it signifies that X is something that has to be experienced in order for you to make a logical conclusion. For example, it rained yesterday, or Shakespeare published plays. You have to actually experience those. They're not already given. So Aquinas states that God is something than which nothing greater can be thought of, and that concept exists in reality as well as in the understanding. And things can be either self-evident in themselves and not to us, or self-evident in themselves and also to us. Now, when something exists conceptually in our understanding and also in reality, it's something that is higher than something that would be self-evident to themselves but not to us. So God's existence is not evident to us, but if we look to the effects of the world, and we can prove God's existence through that. So through cause and effects in the natural world, or natural order of things. So he also makes a big point that nothing can be the cause of itself, and there must be a primary origin. He says that primary origin is God. Aquinas begins to explain that the order of series of things follow each other. So if there's a part taken out of a series, then the process is disrupted and no longer continues. For example, A, B, C, D, F, G. If those were all in a sequence and you take out the C, then there isn't gonna be the D, that sort of thing. So to the root of everything, there must be an ultimate cause that was uncaused. That makes sense, right? So Aquinas states further that through the natural sequences, there consists greater and lesser things of each other. So he mentions things better in goodness and nobility and those sort of virtues. So just as there exists something lesser in, of course, it would be what was previous in the sequence, there must be something that is greatest of all. And furthermore, there are drives in natural occurrences of the order, drives that aim to achieve goals that work for a higher sense of goodness and nobility, and what have you, of course. So those notions are based off a supreme goodness and nobility, he says, and that supreme goodness and nobility and etc., they're from the existence of God. That essentially there must be some ultimate drive that leads us to have these things instilled in us and have a sense to try and achieve a higher goodness. So he says that there must be something at the end of all causes, so there has to be an ultimate first cause, and the God is this cause. Of course, this idea proves to be incredibly problematic for a number of reasons. One being, who is to say that the universe isn't the cause in itself? Why does there have to be a divine being in this? But yeah, it's interesting. If anybody has any thoughts or something, yeah, feel free to mention them. Okay.